Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Three Pros and a Podcast.
Yo, what's going down for Three Pros and a Pod, episode 005? Your boy Michael Jimenez Johnson, Chad Skelly from Texas, somewhere on the screen. And I have G. Jones in replace for Bubba. He's taking a little break for this episode, so we got the fill-in.
Well, I got the fill-in for Chaz last week.
And now he's filling in for Bubba.
So it just might be Menace and the Man. No, that's already a show.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out.
Gotcha.
But it's weird that you got a black and a white and you mix them together and look what came out. Greg Jones. And on my right, the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, Darrion, Caldwell, Bellator champ, X for 135. National champ.
We out here. We still out here grinding.
What's going on, DC Wolf?
What up, my boy?
Howl on them, D.
Yeah, we still out here grinding. This shit ain't stopped.
There you go. Well, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate for joining us on this episode. We'll get right into it. Why do black people always gotta be late for shit? Like, I asked y'all to be here at 4 o'clock. It was 3:30 at first. We pushed it, and y'all was still late. Like, how is that possible? Like, come on. Bro. Y'all making me look bad.
We don't all enjoy a life of leisure like you and Chaz, all right? We was doing stuff, first of all. Second of all, that's the first time I've ever been late in my whole entire life. So I do extremely apologize because I take great pride in being on time.
He's got the do-rag on. That's Black Greg now. That's
what
why
happened.
He's late.
That's what happened.
What's your excuse, Caldwell?
Yeah, I was doing something, man. Busy
doing
morning.
something? You just try to match your outfit together?
Pretty much, bro.
You try to get that hat over his braids?
You get stuck to the wall with that corduroy jacket.
Abercrombie window, man.
That's a different flow.
Yeah, right. I feel it. Well, boys, this episode, we like to always kick it in with a little jokes and laughter. That part, you know, you guys got something very interesting, though, that I really want to talk about. We're going to dive right in there. Kill Cliff is known as an MMA gym powerhouse, one of the best teams in the world. Something else is brewing between Greg Jones and Darrion Caldwell, and I'll let one of you guys take over and control and let us know what's brewing at Kill Cliff.
Yeah, man. You know, obviously I've been in this MMA thing for, we've been together a decade almost now, Mike. It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But ultimately, I'm a wrestler at heart. I'm a wrestler at core, at the core of me. So, you know, it was always in my mind to want to get a wrestling club started, just because it really is a sense of identity. I understand what wrestling means. I understand what wrestling provides, and in every aspect, I am an ambassador of the sport of wrestling. I do believe the sport of wrestling's ability to change lives, particularly when we're talking about young people at different stages of growth and development, getting in there, being a little bit uncomfortable, you know, and just really figuring out different ways to challenge yourself and learn new skills. So Darrion approached me a couple weeks ago, said he wants to get a kid club started, and you know we're working together on that. We're 2 or 3 weeks in. Darrion's been doing a great job with the kids. We're growing little by little each week, and I think it's important for any good sports program to have some sort of wrestling involved, and that's what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the ages?
Well, we want to stay in the elementary, middle school, high school range. Once we start going, we'll eventually, you know, gravitate towards some adults and people who want to fight eventually. But like the thing is, wrestling's for everybody, right? It doesn't matter what age, what size, you know, what height, you know, you can wrestle. So it's just about dedicating yourself, hard work, and finding a passion. Wrestling is something that, you know, can really bring out a passion in you, and so that's what we hope to do with these kids.
All right. So what year did you? No, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say something to Chaz, but go ahead.
Nah, Chaz, speak up. Forgot you was on there. Shit.
I'm listening, man. I'm listening.
Hey, oh, that's what I was gonna say, Chaz. Chaz, you can speak on this. There seems to be, and it surprised the hell out of me. And you were just talking about this. There's a decent sized market out there for adult wrestling classes. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how or why anyone would want to do wrestling for fun. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me. But I know Reese Humphrey has been doing a good job of doing some adult wrestling classes. But maybe that's something we explore down the line.
Yeah, man. It is a crazy thing that, as an adult, you'd want to go in there and wrestle. The hardest sport. It's the hardest. I feel like it's the best sport for fundamental with a kid. Elementary school, junior high, high school, discipline, fundamentals, just core strength, dexterity in the body. It's good for all other sports. You talk to any football player, professional football player that wrestled, and he will say the best thing he did for his football career was wrestle. I mean, you've heard it time and time again. There's so many NFL players that wrestle to say, the best thing I ever did fundamentally, discipline-wise, was wrestle. Now, I have no fucking idea why a 35-year-old would want to get
That's what I'm saying, right?
wrestle. I don't know, but
Like you go to the Y and shoot baskets, right? Why do you want to go in that hot,
low
smelly
impact,
room and
Old men
wrestle?
get picked on, bro. They gotta learn how to fight.
Hey, old men and wrestling singers creep me out too, by the way.
oh, dude, you just took my.
I'm sorry, man.
Well, let's hope they be in shorts and t-shirts.
That part.
I had a joke for this because I was gonna say, Senior Nationals is this weekend in Fort Worth.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you two, y'all both being Division I national champions, if you guys wrestle for Senior Nationals. But my joke was going to be, I'm going to Senior Nationals this year. I'm showing up in a singlet. You want to see a
The
fat
thing
old
is, Chaz, no one would bat an eye at you.
Yeah, nah.
I
Probably
wonder
not.
if Dale.
It's
Dale
just
should've got
Chaz.
for that.
It's just Chaz. Don't mind him.
I feel like this is turning into a wrestling podcast.
Yeah, but I don't have a problem with guys that veterans and older guys that's actually competing for something, like maybe they just had a tough break, in the early 2000s, and they still got that passion for the sport, But just to be trained in wrestling is kind of a different breed,
Yeah. What year
the
did you
people-
get started, Caldwell? How old were you when you got into the world of wrestling?
I started at 9, so I initially was just an athlete, play football, doing a little bit of soccer, baseball, so kind of fell in my lap. I was wrestling with one of my friends in the backyard, and basically, in our terminologies, I dirt slammed him.
What terminology?
Hold on,
That's
we
some
got.
Jersey
Let's
shit?
break that
That's
down.
a Jersey
Let's
shit.
break that down. Stop right there. Let's break that down. What?
Dirt slammed him.
Yeah, in Jersey, so
Yeah, there had to be
when you
some
slam somebody, and usually it's like the terminology because you slam them in the dirt, So
All right, yeah.
so
Pretty
he was in the
straightforward.
backyard, yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Dirt
I wound
slam.
up dirt slamming him, and his dad was like, I guess he took interest in that, and so I went to a few practices. I practiced actually for a few months. I didn't compete, and then the season ended, kind of ended sooner than I thought it would, and so the following year I started competing. And I was just pretty good at it from the start, but I love wrestling from the beginning, and I met a lot of good people through wrestling. Even like he was touching up on the NFL thing, right? Just having like one of my fullback, I play football, and so my fullback, we encouraged him, to wrestle, and he would go to tournaments and travel with us, and so that I feel like that just
Your
played
little buddy,
a
yeah.
big factor,
What time, what age would you say that you started to figure out that wrestling was your thing? Wrestling was your way out. Wrestling was your way to enhance your life, go to college, and progress beyond college?
Definitely, probably the end of elementary, because I still thought.
Yeah, that early, cool.
Yeah, because I still thought I could play, like, I still thought I could play basketball early on in elementary.
Basketball,
Yeah.
You 5'4", man.
Yeah, but so at that time, height ain't really a really a big thing,
Right.
So yeah, I was short still, but You know, I was a baller, a little athlete.
I heard
so
you had skills
shoes-
on the football field too. You like
Yeah.
AI. You
Yeah,
know?
yo, I'm
It was
like
everywhere.
that, my nigga. Like,
I hear you.
yeah.
So what are y'all trying to instill in these kids like minds, like grooming them up? Because I know mindset is a big thing, and we'll touch base on that. But you guys literally have these kids for what, like an hour or two, maybe like once or twice a week. Just what are you guys trying to really mold?
I think really right now is just the main thing is getting them comfortable on the mat. You know, not surprisingly, there's a whole lot of kids out there that are unfamiliar with one-on-one competition, physically touching another person and trying to manipulate their body. So and most of our kids, not all of them, but most of them are pretty beginner level. So we just got to get them comfortable, and then we got to start, start off just building their self-confidence. You know, I think the best feeling after a good practice, the next day kid comes in with his chest out a little bit bigger, and you just see the shift and the change that's starting to occur in your young athletes. And I think that's one thing as a coach, you know, for me across all levels is very rewarding in this instance, that whenever you're starting out, you see gains very evident very quickly. So you get, excuse me, so your work often is rewarded earlier than someone like you that requires a little bit more fine tuning, a little bit more hours and things like that. So I just really enjoy letting the kids feel better about themselves with a sense of accomplishment. And I think that's where to start at, D.
Yeah, no, to touch off that, one of the big things for me as a coach is just learning. You know, I'm super new to just the coaching scene, so just being able to see Greg has been already. I've been feeling like I've been taking leaps and bounds.
You know what they say is coaching is the deepest form of learning, they say.
Yeah. Chaz,
That's true.
what you got to say about that? I know you're doing a little bit of coaching right now, aren't you?
Are you, Chaz? What are you coaching?
No, I mean, I've just been helping Doug. You know, Dougie Fresh up here.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go up there. I'll drop in every
10P
now and
still?
help him with his. Huh?
10P still, or does he have his own thing too?
No, he's got his own. He's got his own thing here. It's like he's affiliated with 10 Planet.
Yeah.
So it's like 10 Planet Fort Worth here. What I got to say about that? I mean, I say I wouldn't use the term grooming. I think you gotta stay away from that in kids' sports. But I do think
What's wrong with that? Is it like a sex term?
grooming.
No,
yeah,
no, it's
Like
your
a
people have
wrestling
corrupted
thing?
that term. When I'm grooming an athlete,
Like I got lost.
I know.
Like I don't know what the fuck. Like I know you're down in Texas, so that could be like grooming like cows or like whatever type of weird shit y'all got going on. I know it gets lonely on the farms and shit.
Hazel.
I'm always with
Hazel from Hazel.
But no, I mean, absolutely, dude. These kids have such an advantage having two coaches that have accomplished so much in the sport, and it's like, man, that's awesome. You know, you don't see that much. To be a great coach, you don't have to have, you know, been a world beater at the sport. You have to have a passion for it. You have to have a passion for helping these kids achieve their dreams, you know, and be a good role model for them. But to have that and to be able to respect two coaches that have been at the pinnacle of the sport and done what I don't even know, less than 1% of people who do the sport have accomplished. I mean, that's amazing, you know.
Do these kids actually know who their coaches are?
they don't know shit yet.
Like, yeah, like,
That's
do
what I
y'all
was gonna-
know
yeah,
like, what
shit,
they're
yeah.
getting taught about? Who, like,
We'll get there though.
Yeah, like,
You know, I think the good thing is the parents are bought in. You know, that's real important. You know, when you got parents who are supportive and want to see their kids do better and grow.
So what's like the timeline? Like when are y'all like planning on getting these kids to compete and get them into tournaments and, you know, starting to see some, I know it's early, but.
What do
you
they say?
know,
The
give us a
process
little
is the
blueprint.
process. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't even have that on my calendar. I think we spend the rest of this calendar year kind of getting them reps, getting them comfortable with contact and combat in a lot of ways. And then once the new year kicks off, I think we could start start getting into some more skill development type of stuff, started evolving them as athletes. And
Yeah, because you'd be surprised how many kids don't like to use their hands.
oh, they don't know how to move. They don't know how to
Yeah.
bend. There's a lot of little things like that a lot
Like
of young
run around
athletes are
and kick.
missing.
Yeah, it's like two left feet. Literally, you tell them to go left, they go right. You
Yeah,
tell 'em-
a lot of stuff like that.
Well, I didn't know if y'all knew about this, but I coached a little basketball, and I know how it could be coaching kids, little league kids, with basketball teams. So yeah, you tell them to block and move this way, and they sitting in the corner counting their fingers and shit. It's like, what is going on? Like, I told you to get over here.
But when you sports, was you ever like that?
No, but see, I've never played youth sports, and it was a thing where I was a city kid, and I went to county schools, and that's where I kind of wanted to play with all my friends,
Right.
you know. So, but my mother couldn't afford it. She couldn't afford to send me out to play football, or we couldn't afford like club things to go for me to play basketball and things. So I didn't get into sports until freshman year of high school, where it was free. You know, where it came with the tuition that I was paying, you know. And I was a fat kid. I was 185 pounds in 8th grade, just fucking cheeks out to here. Like,
damn, bro.
didn't know girls want to talk to me, bro. 'Cause I'm just fat.
Yeah, but it's
I was like, I'm
crazy.
gonna show y'all something. Wait till I get to high school, right?
I grew up, not out. Yeah. But it's crazy how common that is. Like I was, Chaz, you could probably speak to this too. Like, I was never the baseball kid that like hit the ball and ran to third base. Like whenever I played a sport, I just kind of got the rules. I kind of knew what you were supposed to do. Yeah. But just the amount of kids that just have no idea. It's kind of crazy to me, you know, just because I've been in that, you know, in sports all my life, you know. But.
Chaz, when did you start athletics?
I started wrestling when I was 4. My uncle that just passed this last week, he coached the wrestling team there, Skelly Scrappers.
Oh, shit. Gotta
and
keep that
Tioga-
going.
Oh, we should have dueled them to Joneses.
That
Jones
part.
Wrestling.
Yeah, yeah. The up in Tioga, Pennsylvania, he coached that for maybe 40 years or something like that. So my cousins, my brothers, my dad, my uncles, they all wrestled, and so I started wrestling when I was 4. I didn't start competing until I was 5. You know, I did a year of practice and then started competing when I was 5. I started playing t-ball at 5. You know, started playing football, middle school. So, but yeah, Greg, same way. I was just a competitive kid, man. I don't think I can't remember a time that there was one thing I used to do when I was a kid wrestling, though, when I'd get out there, that my dad or my uncle or someone would be like, "Hey, like, show me your mean face, your competitive face." And I would smile. I would smile. But I enjoyed it though. Like I always enjoyed wrestling. I always enjoyed playing baseball and football. Like, and I did know the rules, and I was trying to win like my whole life. I wasn't that kid out there picking daisies. I was ready. So yeah, I don't understand that.
What do you guys think
like
about?
environment.
What do you guys think about kids that get really good too fast? You think that could benefit, or is that more
It's a
of
gift
like
and a curse.
Yeah, right. Like it's
gift
kind
and
of
a
a fine
In some
line.
sense, so I recruited at Division I university for 10 years. And obviously you want those blue chip, those 5-star athletes. You want to capture as many of those you can, to a certain degree. But where you situated at in West Virginia, we didn't have an easy in for a lot of those types of kids, right? So I almost think it was almost more beneficial to not have that undefeated 4-time high school state champ, but get that kid that maybe won at one time, maybe took third, but he knows and understands how to work through adversity, how to work through setbacks, because inevitably they're going to happen, right? But are still in that ballpark from a skills and intangible standpoint. You know, oftentimes when you see people have a lot of success early, you see them fizzle out because they learn all the wrong lessons. You know, they learn the wrong training lessons. They're rewarded for things you or I wouldn't be rewarded for. So that's where it could be challenging to coach that type of athlete.
But I want to add something on that with when you have these kids that are very good at a young age, a lot of times kids get that good because their parents push them. You know, they put them in the right situations to get coached, and they take them to the competitions to get good. But on the other hand, when they do get that good, the parents have to understand that you have to keep it fun for them. You have to keep it interesting for them. And you got to stay the fuck out of the way sometimes, because these kids that fizzle out, a lot of them are fizzling out because they're getting burned out. They're getting burned out because of the way they're getting pressured at home, the way they're, I mean, you see some of these, man, I've seen kids get tossed over the ropes at wrestling tournaments. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've been one of them, you
Me
know.
too.
Hey man, especially if I started whimpering on the mat, you know, if I started whining on the mat, my dad would take me in the bathroom and beat my ass. And I don't, and that's
Good old
something that
days.
yeah, and I don't like, I don't even blame him for that. For you start crying on the mat, you know, I don't blame him for that so much. But what I'm saying is these parents have to realize, man, like wrestling is a hard sport, anyways. It is the hardest sport. It's an individual sport. Your kid wants to win. They're out there to win, and they're being hard on themselves if they don't win. Don't be so much harder on them. You know, I mean, it's hard. It's hard because the parents
It's
want them to win
scary.
too.
Let's
But
face it.
yeah,
It's scary.
yeah, right.
DC, what was your national champ run? Did you win it your senior year, junior year?
My junior year.
Junior year? Okay, so the first 2 years, like just take us through the journey, you know, because I would assume I'm not that big watcher, that fan of like actual like NCAA wrestling. Like I loved it. I wrestled at JUCO, which y'all don't know nothing about. You know, y'all ain't ready for that.
We mess with the JUCO.
Y'all ain't ready for that JUCO talent. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying, bro.
Nah, we mess with the JUCO.
But yeah, we talked about the process of kids.
I'm from Pennsylvania. That's high school wrestling. Mike.
Yeah. Okay.
Jersey, same thing.
Let's calm down over there before I got to put my singlet on.
Oh no.
Right?
I'm from Texas, bro. That's D1.
But yeah, just that journey, you know, what the first 2 years was like leading up into the national title win, or if you were the underdog going into, I know you beat a really good guy that nobody really expected you to beat.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy, because I beat him before. You know, I spladed him.
Yeah.
In a little high school gym.
Yeah.
Hit him with the spladle, you know, which is so. Anybody knows if you get hit by a spladle, like that's kind of
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
Dogging
bad.
him.
yeah, that's disrespectful. Like you know, so but you know, the odds,
Damn, that's what I hit Michael with the very first time we ever went together. Keep going.
Y'all
groin
got
still
your
hurt.
ass beat for 3 years after.
yeah, man. But to be honest, I knew I was gonna go out there and beat him. You know, it wasn't like anything.
So what
that I
was
haven't
that
seen
journey
before.
that journey up until like that start of that year or the end of last year to where you really put it in your mind to I'm gonna run up to the rankings, I'm gonna become a national champ this year? Because I was talking with Greg earlier in the episode, and that is a whole nother mindset. You know, you have to really stay focused to accomplish a goal like that.
Well, I feel like for me, when I was in elementary, I always figured I need to be wrestling on a high school level. You know, when I was in high school, I figured I need to be competing on a college level. You know, and so when I was in college, you know, I already thought I should be on the world level. You know, and so in my head, you know, I should be winning a national title my freshman year. You know, and so the very first duel, I get the number 1 seed, and you know I scored some points on him, but you know he wound up beating me by 5. So
Who was that, D?
That was Ryan Lang.
Oh yeah.
So I wound up wrestling him at national.
Northwestern, yeah.
Yeah. I mess with Ryan Lang. That's my boy. Right. And so I wound up wrestling him, and early on I'm like, oh, I could do this. Like you know, like this is it's just like high school, you know. But obviously, college wrestling is it's a lot more than just high school wrestling. You got to go to school. You got to balance. You know,
Damn, you got to go to school in college wrestling?
Yeah.
I thought y'all just wrestled.
You got to go to class. You got to do all type of things to secure your spot on a team, right?
Yeah.
And so, so it was just a lot different, but the goal was just to be a national champion.
You had to stay focused. You know, you were putting bigger rewards on yourself. Like, no, I'm at this collegiate level. No, I'm better than this. I'm better than these guys, and that's what you put in your mindset.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, if I'm wrestling on a level above these guys, then you know they couldn't beat me. You know, so that's what I've always like envisioned. Like that, I was on a different level than them. You know?
I got a question for you with that, because that's a crazy mindset. Like that's a amazing mindset to have. You know, like when you're in high school, you're like, man, I should be wrestling at the college level. When you're in college, you're like, I could be on the world level. You know, I should be beating these guys, no problem. Do you feel like with that mindset of that you're that good, that you feel like you're better than these guys, you should walk out there and dominate everybody? Do you feel like that made it harder for you to push past your comfort level in practice, past your limitations, to really break your mind in practice? Or do you think it made it easier because you felt like that's where you belong, and you knew that's where the guys that are where you wanted to be, where you feel like you should be, that's what they're doing? Because for me personally, I always felt like if I don't work hard, I'm not gonna get there. You know, I mean, that's just how I always felt coming up through. So it made it easier for me to push hard in practice because I felt like I had to do that if I wanted to beat these guys. Where you were like, I should be fucking smashing these guys. I'm better than them. I don't know. Maybe that was a flaw in my thinking. Maybe if I had changed my thinking to be like, I should already be beating these guys, I should be at the world level, maybe that would have done something for me. But do you think it made it easier or just harder?
I think it definitely made it easier because it forced me to train harder, you know, and just go harder, you know. Like I really took pride in never losing an ACC match, you know, and ACC is just our conference and at nationals, you know, going undefeated at like ACC. I'm like, all right, if I lose to an ACC guy, I'm definitely not winning nationals. So, like, I made it my priority to, you know, really try to do as much as I could there. You know, that was like first step. You know, growing up, it would be like the wrestling room, my practice room. It started there. I'm like, if I can't beat guys like 15 pounds more than me, 15 pounds less, there's no way I'm going out there and beating everybody in the state. Yeah. You know, and then it kind of gradually, I just started to build that thought process. You know.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, just a lot of emotions y'all got to keep in check and everything, and just a big sports. Speaking of emotions, I don't know if y'all are basketball fans of the NBA, but I was waiting on when this was gonna happen. Draymond Black or Green, is that his last name? Draymond Black, because that's the blackest shit I didn't see. How he smacked Nurkic, but I'm gonna call him Draymond Black. What is wrong with this guy? Like he's suspended.
He's playing in the wrong era, man.
Wrong era.
They didn't put that dude back in the early '90s NBA.
I still think he gets suspended.
No. In the '80s and '90s with the Pistons,
they
and
was
shit,
throwing
them boys was
hands,
thumping.
right? They
Yeah,
was throwing
they was
hands.
thumping. But yeah, Draymond can't get right. He can't get right.
Man, I think it's I think basketball's soft in general. I don't even think so. I've trained. I've done strength conditioning with Draymond over at Barwis. He comes in there. Super nice guy.
He does come down there.
Great guy. When I met him, I mean, he was awesome. You know.
But wasn't hooping.
So yeah, he's done something like the practice fight. I mean, you we're talking shit here, but how many of us have not gotten in a fight in the practice room? Wrestling?
Yeah, practice is another thing, but the shit he does in games like doesn't even make sense.
That bullshit that just happened, he barely touched.
But it does make sense. That's the only thing he's really known for. Like,
no, it's not. Okay, he might have barely touched him, but it's not that. It's like the 10 or 15 other incidences every game that's led up to that. Like he jumps on people's stomachs. I think he kicks them in the nuts. Like it's a
bro. There's so much flopping too, though. There's so much flopping. If you count the times, I bet it.
Yeah,
I know. I get it.
Draymond's what, like 6'8", 250, bro? Like,
I think a lot of it. That's what he said with Rudy. He was like, I knew Rudy's teammates didn't like him, so I smacked the shit out of him. He said, I knew they didn't like him, and not one of them get his back. So I know when it comes playoff time, I know that team ain't gonna do shit to us. He set the tone for the playoffs.
But is he even gonna be in the playoffs?
The
way he's acting, like, like when does that come? Like when does that really like come to a point where are you really helping our team? Or are you hurting us more because he is talented, he can play, he's got several titles, but he gets fucking suspended or ejected almost every game.
He sells jerseys.
Too often, yeah.
He sells jerseys, but that's not calculating the
Well,
winning.
No, it's not.
I mean,
And
I
that's
saw
not
that
gonna
the
get
team
tickets.
still wants him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the team's been good too. It's not like he's playing on a
Yeah.
shitty team and frustrated, right?
Yeah, like, I heard one thing. He said that he didn't. If Steph Curry wasn't playing, he didn't want to play, and I think that was the Rudy Gobert game, because that was like in the first like minute or two where he choked him up, snatched him up quick. So he's like, if Steph's not playing, I don't want to play. But I don't know if anybody can explain that. I would love to hear y'all reason.
Only he
behind
can.
it.
Only he can. I don't know. It's like a petulant child playing basketball, right? It's like-
He
I
done-
don't
he done been
understand.
through the kill
I
cook
like it. I
doors.
like him though. I like him.
He feeling real froggy. Like,
Yeah, he done took a peek on our side of the gym and think he can do it and smack people. And I like Draymond Black too. I mean, I fuck with him
God
for
damn,
sure.
bro.
What?
I don't even know his name.
Draymond Black.
Green.
Green, is it? I mean, he's Draymond Black to me. I'm calling him Draymond Black.
Where do you go
that
to school
nigga
at?
different.
You know, Michigan
I don't
State.
know. Did he?
I don't know. I was wondering if that was a college issue he had too, or is it?
Yeah, he did go to Michigan State.
Yeah. Let me go ask Rashad. He's up there. You think he knew? That's way.
Shot old ass, yeah.
That's probably why he goes out to Barwis. Barwis is a Michigan guy, isn't
Oh
he?
yeah,
that's-
he
that's
is
where
a
the
Michigan
connection is,
guy.
Yeah, it's a
that
connection.
makes
probably.
sense. That makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
Draymond Black, I'm with you. Even though
Hey, you're welcome on the show anytime, Draymond. Come explain that shit.
anytime, for sure. Definitely want to hear it. Going on to the next subject, Black again. It is. I know some people might not want to talk about this, but I feel like I want to talk about it. You ain't gotta get into it. We won't go that
Spit that
deep
shit, Mike.
into the war talk and everything with Israel and Palestine and picking sides, but the NFL, I heard, is like encouraging or like asking players to take like a knee or a moment of silence in support of Israel. But however, when black players or the NFL players did do it for Black Lives Matter, when it was police brutality every other week, people dying like every other week, just like nonsense, and they were getting blacklisted. Colin Kaepernick might not ever play in the NFL again because he was taking a knee for what he really believed in. Now they're asking these players to take a knee for, I mean, supporting genocide, I guess. I don't want to say it, but that's kind of what it is. It's coming down to. Greg might want to touch base. Chaz, I don't know about you and the Texas mindset you got to bring you in this conversation.
No,
but-
I would be very surprised, very, very surprised if an NFL memo went out saying, please encourage players to kneel for Israel on the sideline. I would be very, very surprised that something like that happened.
2
If-
months ago, the Chiefs did a moment of silence.
But now you're talking about something different.
Okay.
You're talking about something different.
But they kept going, though.
So I would be very surprised if that happened. Two, I would say that if you want to kneel, go fucking kneel. You don't need encouragement. Even for the Black Lives Matter, first of all, kneeling during the Black Lives Matter movement was a result of Colin Kaepernick asking a veteran the appropriate way to express his feelings, and that's what the veteran told him. So that was his deal. That's what he did.
Damn. Bad fucking
and-
advice from that veteran.
You know, I think to love your country is also to be critical of it too. Everyone's experience is not the same, and the whole point of freedom is for people to be able to express that in the best way that they see fit. And to me, it's just turned into something that, you know, like a lot of things do these days. But
I guess
I
also
don't-
if you're an employee,
what do you mean?
like NFL players are like employed by the NFL, I guess, in lack of better.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, with the Israel thing, I would be surprised if there was you know, deliberate encouragement for.
It's on the internet.
It could,
it's on the internet.
I mean,
Google it.
I'm not saying it's not
Google
true.
it.
I'm just saying, just with little information I have, I would be surprised if that was the case. But
I hope not. I just saw some things. I just wanted to touch base on it, you know. But Chaz, let's hear it.
I mean,
Look at
honestly,
you
I
cheesing
feel
about this shit. Look at
I just I feel the same way Greg feels about it. To be honest, I feel like if you feel so inclined to speak your mind about something, you have the right to do that. I don't feel like the organization did probably or should send out a memo saying, "Hey, this is how we want you to protest." I mean, we are a diverse country, so Israel, yeah, there are allies, but there's people dying on both sides, man. I don't like war. I don't like war one way or the other. I don't
That's the
like
bottom
innocent
line.
people
Yeah.
dying, man. So to me, uh, would I kneel for Israel? No, I wouldn't. Would I kneel for Palestine? No, I wouldn't, because I'm an American, and this is ideal. I would kneel for an American in something happening here in America. That over there, they've been fighting for a long time, and I just don't agree with the unnecessary death. I don't agree with the fighting. I would kneel just based on the fact that that war shouldn't be happening. Like there shouldn't be innocent people dying. Like that's something that I would kneel for. I wouldn't kneel for one side or the other. I don't give a shit about
That's very well
this
said,
side or
Chaz.
this side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Speaking of innocent people in the crosshairs, I know you guys feel like to. Ian Gary is a friend of mine. Okay, let's start that because a lot of stuff has been going on about him. He pulled out of this fight that we're gonna see, and his baby's innocent. That's fucked up what they're doing to that little boy. Good thing he can't hear nothing.
What happened to the baby?
Then I saw.
Before we go on this, let's make a statement. Women and children should be off limits for any of this stupid MMA shit. Period.
Yes,
Go ahead.
for
Go ahead.
sure. I agree. Like women and children for sure should be left out of any like warfare or verbal, definitely physical for sure. But I mean, it's just some diss track said something, and the baby came up. And the dude he was pointing pictures, and he said like the result from these two is this bastard child. And that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
That's fucked up. Like the internet kind of goes too far, or the dude whoever did it goes too far. And I just wish like I could give Ian like just like a piece of my blackness, just so he could go run up on somebody and smack their ass or something, bro. Like that's all he has to do.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like,
rectify this.
but you can't put all this energy and effort in trying to be the heel and then not like the booze.
He's playing.
That's the only issue I have. Yeah, be who you want to be, just like Chad said previously. But
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who you want to portray yourself as. But whenever the motherfuckers turn against you, you can't be talking about this poor me shit. That's my only thing.
Playing the victim role for sure right now. Chaz, you think he pulled out? You think he was really sick?
Oh man, I mean, he asked for the fight, so you would have to think that considering that he asked for the fight, he feels like he has some sort of advantage over Vicente. I mean, they trained together, obviously, and which, in my opinion, the biggest and I liked Ian when in my time with him. I didn't spend a lot of time with him, just in the gym, but he was always courteous and nice to me. He never, I don't have any issues with him. I did think that it was shitty to call out a teammate when there's a lot of other people you can fight. You got a whole fucking roster, man. Why would you call out a teammate? Why, like, it's somebody you train together with on a daily basis. Obviously, it's because something happened in the room where he felt like he had some sort of advantage. And to me, that's a fucking shit move. I mean, I'll just call a spade a spade. I think that's a fucking shit move. And so it is what it is. Now whether I think probably he was really sick, I would think, because
You seen his lip, didn't you?
That was the first.
Oh, that
Hey,
was
that
that
shit
was from
probably
New
popped
York.
back up.
With all this stress, shit.
what happened?
All that shit.
His
Oh,
whole
that-
face,
I
his
saw
whole
that.
face probably covered.
He's sick.
I
But
mean,
yeah, dude, man, that's some shit though. I mean, I didn't like that. I don't like that. But on the whole heel aspect of it, yeah, man, if you're gonna, so what he was doing with Neil Magny, I mean, that's kind of a shit thing to do too. So maybe I like the guy, but I don't know him that well. So when you start seeing character traits come out like that to the public, I mean, fuck, dude, people are gonna dog on you. Neil Magny's a good dude. I've trained with him too, and I've seen Neil Magny around a ton, and he's a good dude. He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve someone calling him a child abuser and shit like that. Like, fuck that.
No,
That's your family, man. That's
I think
your
we can all
family.
agree there's that regardless of what you want to portray, there's certain lines that you shouldn't cross as men. You know,
Yeah.
We're gonna fight each other. We're gonna get paid. Let's leave it right here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, having said all that, I don't have I mean, I like the guy personally. When I saw him, but you gotta take the flack when you start saying stuff like that. You gotta take that flack. So,
You know, MMA is a brutal sport. It's crazy. People cross the line all the time. Colby Covington is a habitual line crosser, line stepper. And the shit he said to Leon at their press conference, like, see, the thing is with me, like, Kobe has a character and he plays it very well. He's not like that in person, or if you would catch him by himself.
Is that better or worse though?
Yeah,
Worse.
it's worse.
Worse.
It's worse. I agree, Chaz.
Right.
It's worse because if you meet him in person, he's such a respectful, likable, like individual. Like he don't talk like so much shit. I don't know if that's because nobody's around him, so he can't talk shit because if a fight breaks out, like he don't want to go there for it. But like it's, I don't know. But yeah, I guess it is worse that people play these characters and they try to like be this person that they're not.
Yeah, we've just normalized all type of stupid fucking behavior is what we've done.
Yeah, who did
And that's
that?
what we
though?
see.
That shit crazy.
Yeah.
You would not run down on somebody. Like, stop
And
it.
see, and that's the thing too. Like a lot of these fighters and everybody that like talks like everybody's a tough guy. All of a sudden, like everybody's a tough guy because they know like the UFC's behind them, or they know a bunch of people are in front of them, or this and that. And we were talking about this the other day. Like, yeah, there's athlete fighters, and then there's like fighters. Like, don't say nothing to me, or I'm gonna have to run across the room and we're gonna fight, regardless of where we are. Like that's what I do. And I got a big mix of that, and a lot of these people just don't know when to stop. Like when Masvidal pieced up Leon, like, you don't walk up to somebody talking shit. Like y'all was beefing. Like Masvidal's a fighter. He will swing on you anywhere.
Right. I would add a third category to that too, Mike. I think we see, and I use this scouting a little bit too, is you see guys who started fighting because there was nothing else. They got to a point in their lives where opportunities dried up. They didn't want to go 9 to 5. They're like, oh, let me try this fighting stuff. I can be that. And they build a career out of that. Because what other sport can you build out a professional career starting at 19, 20 years old?
know.
You know what I'm saying?
No background,
So I, for the most part, I can spot those guys that are fighting just because they had nothing, no other options. And I know with that kind of guy, it's not really in him. It's not integrated. He was forced into this because he had to figure out a way to live. Yeah. And it's just not ingrained into him. So I know there's a button in there with that kind of guy somewhere. But I think you're absolutely right with the other two too.
Caldwell, do you have an opinion on this? I don't want to take because I have an opinion on why this is occurring. I feel like nonstop this is happening over and over. Do you have an opinion on this culture of like people stepping over the lines, like the reasoning behind Colby finding a need to bring people's family into it, and the way that these fights are being promoted? Do you have any sort of opinion on why this is happening?
Well, they think it brings fans
And money, yeah.
it brings attention to them, and so whether it's good publicity or bad publicity, some people just know how to get under your skin, and
clicks have taken that to a whole different level too.
that part fans would just jump
Good
all on
publicity,
that.
bad whatever, but clicks, it doesn't matter. It's
Our
same,
sport is
the same revenue.
Mike.
our sport
Go ahead,
is
Mike.
slowly turning into a circus. Actually, not slowly, extremely fast, turning into a circus. Everybody is all over social media with their dumbass little videos, and they think something's funny, or they're going to repost the downfall or somebody talking shit on somebody else, so they repost it on their page just to get more likes and followers and everything like that. And it's like just turned into like a clout chasing I don't know what to call it. Like, I feel like it's like high school almost.
It's
Right?
a little bit
So I
gossipy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Chad.
so I feel like what you guys touch on is exactly. I mean, I feel like us just being around the sport and knowing the sport, everybody who's in the sport has been paid by the sport personally and has had to market themselves in the sport or has done a bad job, like myself, of marketing themselves in the sport.
Well, you're not that good looking, so it's okay.
Well, yeah, I'm not that good looking. I'm not that good. Also, so that
Nah,
makes it hard
bullshit.
to market yourself.
Scrapper.
Bullshit. You're the scrapper, dog.
But I will tell you, the thing is, internet culture has bled into MMA culture. So, like Greg said, everybody's looking for clicks. Why are they doing that? Because they're having to market themselves in order to make money. If you're not putting asses in the seat, you're not making money. Our pay structure in the sport isn't the greatest. So you're having to go above and beyond to build a persona for yourself, to market yourself, to put asses in the seat or get people to watch. What's the best way to get people to watch a fight? Make them hate you, make them want to see you get knocked out. What's the best way to make them see you want to get knocked out? Start doing and saying outlandish shit. It turned away from fighting. It turned away from being a great fighter and going out there and putting it on the line to fight. But people still do that, but to being like, all right, who's saying the most outlandish shit to get people to hate them, but still winning fights? And to me, it's just I don't like that, man. I don't like it. I hate it, actually. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because you kind of see those guys get put in a higher place than somebody if they were a way better fighter, but not as much of an online presence on social media. Then it takes away from, I guess, that person working.
Oh,
to a
there's
certain goal.
there's certainly analytics to go involved whenever they put the cards together for sure.
Yeah.
For
Oh
sure.
yeah.
For sure.
Oh yeah. And you know, like
Sad.
you see Colby Covington had said something about Leon Edwards' dead dad. Dude,
Yeah,
what
I
the
didn't know his
fuck,
pops.
man?
Yeah, that's I'm.
But that's been the only thing I've seen all week.
We're fighting
that.
before the fight or after the
Yeah,
fight. Maybe we'll
but
fight after the
exactly.
fight. Yeah,
It's the only shit you saw all week.
Yeah, no.
He
for
said
sure.
some crazy shit, and it's all you see. So now that
Oh, he
so
put a
now he's
costume
gonna
on
go
too.
say,
He put a costume on too.
yeah.
Oh, that's
he-
true.
The
Yeah,
truck,
he
the
did
first.
that. He did that too.
He different, bro.
That's
damn,
right.
bro.
That's got a lot
If
of
I'm
work to
Donald
keep that
Trump-
up, man.
Right? He's got the Statue of Liberty tattooed on his chest. He's going way too far.
Way too far.
Does
Way
he
too
really?
far. Yeah, I saw that shit at the weigh-ins. I'm like, did he really just like? And the fucked up thing is that all said and done, Kobe probably not even from America. Like, he gonna be from like another country or some shit.
Bro, if he wins that title, I hope Donald Trump ghosts him. I hope he ghosts him, man, dude. I hope he fucking ghosts him so bad.
Nah, that's their keen on like that's their little fighter guy. That's their popularity guy. So they can attach themselves to Kobe too because he's bringing in a whole nother little train for him.
Where is
Things change,
Where
man.
are and I understand the employment issues, but where is the promotion in this? Where I mean, there is an athlete code of conduct, but what is the policy? What's the repercussions? Hardly nothing.
Of
Come to the
saying anything you
UFC,
want?
you can come like act like a jackass, say and do whatever you want, regardless of how it affects other people.
And get rewarded for
I
it.
guess that's
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah, kinda
right?
get rewarded
I mean,
from it,
no,
yeah.
not kind of, for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
They do draw a line. Like you don't really see like a bunch of racist.
no, they
comments.
draw the line whenever it affects the bottom line. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Your
just like
people, guys.
whenever they reversed the flag thing, Dana went over everyone and said we're doing flags. The next week they were going to Abu Dhabi. Was it Abu Dhabi? It was in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi. No flags in the Middle East.
Oh yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It's just
Well, it was
we're-
a time where it was something that was going on.
we're just
the
flying.
war
Yeah,
started,
yeah, we're just flying. But they just fly by the seat of their pants and just make decisions at the time and how they feel. I mean, and that's another thing I've been on too. This line, it's the fight game. That to me is the biggest cop out in all of sports. It's the fight game. Act like a piece of shit because it's a fight game. Talk about this kid's dead dad because it's the fight game. Do whatever you want because it's the fucking fight game. But when do we get to the point where we can professionalize this sport and get away from all these little niche sponsors and get the Ford, the Chevy, the GMs, the Apples, and these types of companies buying into these fighters? That's the only way that's going to happen.
Yeah,
you know,
like
now
to
you got Bud Light. Okay, Bud Light's a great brand, but look at the F1 sponsors compared to UFCs. And I'm not comparing the sports. I'm just making a point.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't get no Bud Light money.
But you just when you say it's a cop out, you just take away any expectations of decent behavior. They're saying, it's the fight game.
I think it should be the opposite, man. You should be respecting another man that's in there fighting for his family because it's the fight game.
Ain't this how this started?
You should, yeah, right, exactly. A collective bargaining agreement might help that when you got millions of dollars on the line. If you say something stupid, just like you're saying, collective bargaining agreement. That's the only way that changes. When the Bud Light's the sponsor, but Bud Light can cut you at any moment as the sponsor. They're not paying you anymore as an athlete. Yeah, that'll change that real quick.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you got Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We got Kudo Snacks. Not shitting on Kudo because they're a partner of ours too.
Yeah.
But, there's so much room for growth with just tightening up some of these little stuff like that we're talking about. Very thought-provoking stuff, Michael.
Yeah, well, sometimes my spider senses tingle a little bit. Not all the way here sometimes, DC, but when I am, you know what I mean? Locked in.
I am.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this episode. We had some great talk. DC, GJ.
Yes, sir.
Before we get out of here, guys, if anybody in the South Florida region or this little part that want to get your kids involved in Kill Cliff Wrestling Club, can we get some contact info?
Kill Cliff Wrestling Club on IG. Coach G Jones on IG.
Yeah, just follow us and look for the updates. We're
the
new,
Wolf.
but we're gonna be pounding y'all with content.
Pause.
And pounding y'all with hella content. And yeah, we just the more the longer this thing this thing will get going. We're gonna get this thing cracking.
I'm excited. Shaping the youth for some wrestling.
Trying to get back my community.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate it. Shout out to the sponsors. Get Biofuel.
Sorry, Michael. Chaz, it was good seeing you and talking to you, buddy. I'm going to let you close up, but it was good seeing you and talking to you. Listening to you talk, you sound like a completely different person whenever you left South Florida. You handling that transition from fighter, athlete into the real world is not always easy, but sounds like you're nailing it, big dog. Keep it up.
I appreciate that, man. Actually, I was gonna when Mike usually gives us a second to say something, I was gonna say, man, it's great just seeing you and talking to you again. It's just been, I miss the room. I do miss it out there with you guys. So DC, Greg, man, it's been great, honestly.
You too, my boy.
Chaz looks better because he doesn't get hit in the head every day.
He don't look. He just looks different, not better.
Thinking he's talking better. He's thinking better. This shit weighs on us. It takes a toll.
That's true.
But sponsor shout out. Get Biofuel. Face meets fists. Impact Dental Designs. Guard your grill. That's not their motto. I just like to say guard your grill at the end.
It should be.
It should be. Maybe we'll put a little hint on that. But listen, subscribe, comment down below. We'll post this video, guys, and check with you soon next week.
Business, baby.